Hey, good morning. So today is Thursday. It's going to be a bit of a slower day for me compared to the past few weeks. I've been, like living the house every day and getting stuff done. And I mean, some of this was just me making up for the lost time when I was depressed and then I couldn't really get anything done. But some of it was just, for me. I talked about before how some of this has a bit of like a goodbye connotation, which no I want. Like today, I'm kind of okay. I'm kind of fine. So I'm not really, looking forward to my demise, basically. At least not now. Things might happen that will change that because yesterday, throughout the day, I had various moments where I started having those thoughts, and thankfully they all kind of like left, and I was able to be kind of like stable for like a lot of it. But part of me was, for example, I had to take my little SOS feel like in the evening. I did talk to my parents about before doing that because the doctor said that I wasn't supposed to take that with the medication I was taking. Not that they contradict each other. It's just that like the medication was supposed to have like an effect, and it's kind of like not. It is kind of having it and kind of not, because it has definitely changed my psyche to some extent. Maybe not my psyche, but like my mood. Yeah, that's the one. I have like I was kind of like on a low point yesterday when I was like very low energy and feeling kind of like I was going to faint, that type of stuff. And right now, I'm not feeling that way yet because I've taken the medication already. But yesterday it took a little while for it to become very unworkable. For me to just really need to stop. So I'm kind of like waiting to see where I'm going. My brother is going to do a mini surgery today. Nothing major. It's just I don't know how to say that in English. It's just like the skin of his neck is kind of like stuck, and then it's getting pain and it's bleeding, that type of stuff. Nothing like I think like I know a lot of men who kind of like have done that, so it's not. It's just going to be like an hour or so pretty chill. But he's a minor, so my parents have to be there, and then I can be left alone. I'm going with them. And yeah, so we're gonna have that this morning. There are like a couple of things I kind of want to need to do downtown. This is not it is basically downtown. This is here, and then you have this. It's not really like a neighborhood. I mean, some parts of it is actually like a neighborhood, but like the area that we call downtown, we feature some other neighborhoods here, and then this is like on a certain neighborhood which starts kind of like downtown, but it is also kind of a little bit like farther away where exactly it is. So I don't know if I'm gonna get that, but as I said, surgery is like an hour. So if it was just me, to me, I could just go and get everything done and come back. But because of recent events, I'm kind of like I need to be attended by people. So I don't know how that. I don't know what like if I'll be able to do those things. But like if I can, like no, it's not nothing like no emergencies. It's just stuff that like the earlier I get it done, like the better it is. But a couple of days, like it's not gonna make that much of a difference. But yeah, also, I'm wearing a jersey, which I own, and I haven't owned, thinking about this, like a jersey in like a while. I think the last one I owned was, 2016, 2015 to 2016 was a Barcelona jersey. Then my dad got me because at that point in time I was, very good right fan. I still support him, but like I'm not keeping up with them at this point in time. So he got it to me, and eventually I gave it back to him, so that because he was using it more than me because it was like an oversized jersey, and at the time I was wearing more oversized stuff, and then right now I'm wearing not like then. It's also like the material was kind of hot. It was not the most excellent material out there. So it was also not the worst. But yeah, I went to the movies with my parents this Tuesday, and it's really it was kind of like one of those situations that it seems very much orchestrated for you to do something, because basically we ended up not finding a parking space like in the area that we usually park, so we were somewhere else, and we went to like a different entrance. And this entrance, because the mall that we went to that we go is the only one that has IMAX here, and which was fantastic. This it has like it was built on like the territory, the area belonged to my the club that I support. And so like they have like a store there, like an official store. Like a lot like the bigger teams, they have basically a store in every mall. Ours is not it's not as big, so that is the one that we had there. And we passed by it, and then I saw that it was this jersey for 60 Brazilian reais, which is really kind of like it's an excellent price. You know, like it's twice the price that I usually pay for like regular, you know, t-shirts. And usually like this jersey, they're like the 200, you know, yeah. So I saw it and I was like, wait, this is interesting. And it was white, so I went inside to see what they had, and then they had pink. I've been looking forward to like this pink jersey for years. You know, they first had it like in, you know, like in a pink October, you know, situation, but then it was too expensive, and then they kind of like ran out of it. So I had to kind of like wait, and then they made it, and then finally I found it like in an affordable price. That I so I could, you know, own a jersey from, you know, my team. I mean, it's because my mom, she has like many jerseys, and so usually if we go, you know, to a game or something, I borrow it from her. But right now I kind of like don't need to. And I'm gonna say they had other jerseys for this price, and there was one that's like really beautiful. It was just red with like all the details like in white, and I really wanted to buy it, but you know, like I'm kind of like I'm not in a place financially where I can just make this purchase newly. That's the reason I got this one, is because, as I said, I've been looking forward to it for many years. I had almost kind of like giving up, and then, you know, it presented itself for me right then and there. I don't believe in higher I'm not a religious person, but you know, it's one of those moments that just feels like very much tailored, you know, to you. I don't believe that there was any force that was kind of like making it happen, but it was just very coincidental, very accidental. And you know, like that's right, it's one of the best coincidences. Same thing that happened with like the hair that I mentioned. Tomorrow is my assessment. I'm gonna go. It is not, you know, like a medical assessment. It is a judicial assessment, and it's still going to be a doctor that is going to be assessing for like a different need regarding like last, you know, a month last year and 2 months the year before that. And I still haven't fully prepped myself. But I don't know, like it's one of those things that it is kind of like very, not instinctive, but it's like I just have to talk about how I am doing, basically, or how I was doing during those points in time. I don't know. It's going to be like an interesting. I mean, of course, like as I mentioned before, like this always gives me a level of anxiety. But like right now, I'm not feeling like as anxious as I have historically felt. So you know, like that's good. That can mean that my head. Well, they can mean that I'm like maturing, or it can mean that there's something like, you know, in my head that is kind of like up there. As I mentioned, oh yeah, I was talking about that yesterday. So I didn't work on it. It was mostly because I decided to just, you know, sleep a bit after, you know, I finished the video. And then, you know, I had my Zumba class, and then when I came back, it was just me showering, just finishing things so I could, you know, go to bed for the night. And that was kind of like that, but you know, I still have time. Today, as I said, it's going to be a slower day. We're going to, you know, go with my brother. And we're going to visit, you know, my friend today. I've already baked, you know, her cake. She wanted a passion fruit cake, and I baked one, and it's already in the fridge, ready to go. I was going to, if we didn't have, you know, my brother's surgery, I was probably going to make another, you know, dessert because I have ideas. And I decided to, you know, split, because I was going to make, you know, one dessert that was cotton candy and tutti free, and then that was going to be too sweet. And then, you know, like this is something that when I brought dessert to my cousins and my aunt yesterday, she was like, okay, I like this one better. The other one was just sweet, unsweet, unsweet. So I'm kind of like going to split them up, and I have ideas for what I'm gonna do. So I can do this in the, I don't know when the visit is, but basically I thought it was going to be like a slower day, that I was going to stay more home, but maybe not so. But yeah, so basically I have, yeah, that's kind of like that. But you know, today I seem to have woken up, you know, better. Honestly, I'm not excited about it, not as energetic as I usually am. You know, I end up waking up like late, not later. I end up waking up like 6, you know, 12, which is not late, but I was waking up like earlier than that before. So that medication is still working on that at least. Oh yeah, let me just show you something. Yesterday, before I started to get really sick, I made 2, you know, necklaces with my and my cousin, and then, you know, this is one, you know, I got. It's very similar to like a raw rope necklace that I have, but you know, this one I added this little pendants. You know, honestly, I really like how it turned out. It makes it a little different, and it's also black. I didn't have, you know, a black necklace made, you know, from rope. And this is the other one, you know, this blue one. It's really nice. I had a pink one of this when we started, you know, doing this, you know, macrame thing. But you know, we gave it to a friend of ours. You know, it was pink, you know, on her birthday. So now I have a blue one, and I have, you know, it's good to have like various colors. I like that. And also, I'm seriously considering starting to either gift or sell the necklaces. Everybody has been telling me to do that, and I would say everybody has been telling me to do that with a lot of different things that I do for many years, saying that like it's good, but I never really feel like it's good enough for me to just sell. Don't feel good, putting my name out there. But like the necklace is the first time that I'm actually kind of considering it. I'm like, I can do something with this. I don't know where I would sell them or to whom or how exactly that would work, but I am willing. I might in the quality, even like the little, finishing things. Like I'm working on that. So it's just like it's a possibility. It's like the beginning of something, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, basically that today I thought it was going to be a slower day, but then we're going to have to go out at house twice, and for various reasons. My mom is still kind of sick, so we cannot really push her too hard. But I'm assuming that like because we're gonna visit with this friend of mine, and I think we're going to get a ride back with a pastor that's going there with us, and then my parents' church is like there's a parents' church, there's like a large avenue, and then there's a mall, one of the closest ones that we have here. So if I go there, like there are a few things that I wanted to do that I could do there, so like I'm thinking about how practical it would be for me to just take all the stuff I need to take with me before we get there, because I'm thinking we might have to postpone it, leave it for like a later day. But yeah, just to sum it up, my head today, I woke up, I'm feeling better. I'm not craving my demise, as I said. I'm not thinking of the end. I'm just thinking about right now and the day that we're going to have, and I'm even excited about the possibilities of life. So that is a different, it's kind of like an improvement, I guess. So because as I mentioned yesterday, I had to take my little SOS pill before I went to bed, because I was having those thoughts. I have been very communicative with my parents. I'm letting them know when my mood changes, where my head goes, which is important. And it's also good because this is something that historically, I'm not gonna say historically I haven't done, but like the past 5 years basically I've been doing this more, where I'm like sharing with the people around me how my head is doing, and as a consequence I can I get better treatment, because we can kind of like foresee the things happening instead of just like them happening and them having to deal with the consequences. So like that's good. I'm doing well in that regard, and I don't know, man, it's just it feels good to be back, kind of. And I mean, technically I was back this past few days, this past couple of weeks, and then the past few days, because of the medication I took, I was kind of like down again, which today feels like it's adjusting. Sometimes you just have to give it, things some time, because for them to like adjust. And as I said, it's important for you to just say the things that are happening in your head, so people know, the changes, because sometimes things can kind of like come out of nowhere, which is something that would happen a lot when I was younger, even after I had my diagnosis as being bipolar. Like that is still something that sometimes like we saw the extremes happening, because I could sense like this change is happening, but it didn't feel to me like that's something I had to share, because it was kind of like nothing. But like right now, many years later, I know that it is something. Maybe like that change is not going to lead to anything, and that would be great, but like maybe it does. So it's important for you to just say those things out loud to people around you, to people who can care for you, people who they can look after you and all that, to your doctors too, to your therapists, all the mental health professionals surrounding you. And I do that now. I've been doing that for years at this point, so it's not really a huge deal. But I was remembering, like at a certain point, that was not how my brain was wired. I very much kept everything to myself. There was a point where I was internalizing everything, and that just made things worse for me. Like it's like it's kind of like that. There's like, let's say there's a knife that is kind of like stabbing you, and then instead of like reaching out for help, you're just holding it, and you're kind of like stabbing yourself as well. Like there's this force of the stabbing, and then you kind of like hold it, and you're trying to hold it, but like you can't. So you're just stabbing. I don't know if that was not a great metaphor, but it sounded better in my head. But basically what I'm trying to say is that today is a new day, and I am not creating any expectations about how it's going to be mental health wise. I'm going to ride this wave. So if I go up, I go up. If I go down, I go down. Naturally I'll be communicating with people around me, so we can foresee the like anything that happens, so I don't have like a full-on episode of anything, either up or down. So that's kind of that. This is going to be that for today. I don't know, maybe I'm gonna come back with something else to say at some point. But you know, for the time being, like everything's good. Everything. I feel like I'm stable. I feel things don't feel like messy or you know destabilized. You know, everything feels like you know I feel like I'm on top of this. You know, I've got this. That's how I'm feeling. And then maybe I'm going to be wrong, but only time will tell. So, anyways, bye.